The storm came early that evening, sweeping over the sleepy town of Fairbanks with a fury that few had expected. Rain lashed at windows like frantic fingers trying to claw their way inside, and thunder roared in the distance, rolling over the hills like drums of war. For most people, it was a night best spent indoors, with warm lights, a cozy blanket, and a mug of something hot. But for Sam Callahan, it was another long shift behind the counter at his small roadside diner, Sam's Place, just off Route 89. The diner had seen better days. The paint was peeling in places, the old neon sign outside flickered inconsistently, and one of the booths in the corner still wobbled when someone sat down. But it was home. And it was his. After his wife, Rachel, had passed away 4 years ago, Sam had left his job as a mechanic and turned the diner his father once owned into a lifeline, not just for himself, but for his now 7-year-old daughter, Emily. Emily sat in the corner booth every night while Sam worked. She was a quiet girl, more observant than talkative, and tonight she was coloring in a well-worn sketchpad, her pink hoodie pulled up to her ears. The hum of the rain blended with the soft jazz that played from the old jukebox in the corner, creating a strangely peaceful rhythm amidst the chaos outside. Sam wiped down the counter for the 5th time that hour, glancing occasionally at the window. The storm wasn't letting up. And with the highway slowing to a crawl under the pounding rain, business had trickled down to nearly nothing. He was just about to start closing up when the door burst open. The bell overhead jingled sharply, followed by the gust of cold wind and a soaking figure stepping into the light. Sam looked up instinctively, his first reaction caution. Storms like this tended to drive strange souls in off the road. But what he saw surprised him. The figure was a woman. Tall. Athletic build. Clad in soaked army fatigues and a dark green duffel bag slung over her shoulder. Her hair, pulled into a tight bun, was dripping wet. She looked tired, bone-deep, soul-weary tired. And yet, there was a sharpness in her eyes, like a soldier who never quite let down her guard. "Sorry," she muttered, water pooling at her boots. "Didn't mean to barge in." "No bother," Sam said, grabbing a towel from behind the counter. "You look like you've been through a flood." "Something like that," she replied, accepting the towel and rubbing her face and arms dry. "Got dropped off by a trucker a few miles back. Wasn't expecting the sky to open up on me. Few do." He gestured to the bar stool. "Sit. You want coffee? If it's hot, I'm not picky." He poured her a cup and slid it across. She caught it without looking, lifting it to her lips as if she'd done it 1,000 times. Her fingers, Sam noticed, were rough and calloused, the kind of hands that had seen hard work in colder nights than this one. "You headed somewhere?" he asked. She shook her head. "Nowhere in particular. Just moving." Sam didn't push. He'd learned a long time ago that people only told their stories when they were ready. "I'm Sam," he said, after a beat. "That little girl in the corner is Emily. She owns the place more than I do." The woman looked over at Emily, who gave a shy wave before returning to her coloring. "Cute kid," she said. "I'm Ren. Ren Carter." "Well, Ren Carter, welcome to Sam's Place," Sam said. "Not much, but it's warm and dry. I've stayed in worse." Sam chuckled. "You military?" "Was," she said after a pause. "Discharged last month." "Thank you for your service," Sam said, with genuine warmth. "Army?" "Marine." "Even better," he said. "I served a few years myself. Mechanic. Back before, well, before all this." He gestured vaguely to the diner, the storm, the silence of his own life. Ren didn't comment. She simply nodded, sipping her coffee with both hands cupped around the mug. "I hate to ask," he said after a minute, "but do you have somewhere to go tonight?" Ren hesitated. It was the first crack in her armor. "I had a place booked in the next town, but the storms got the roads shut down. Sam glanced out the window. You'll be lucky to make it 10 miles in this mess. I've got a guest room at my place. Nothing fancy, but it's warm. Emily and I live just a few blocks up. Ren raised an eyebrow. You don't even know me. No, but I've got a pretty good sense of people. You're not the kind I worry about. She studied him carefully, her eyes narrowing, not with suspicion, but calculation. Then, finally, she nodded. One night? One night, Sam confirmed. Besides, I make a mean breakfast. Ren cracked the smallest of smiles. That might be worth staying for. By the time they got back to Sam's house, a modest single story with an aging porch swing and a leaky gutter, the rain had tapered slightly. Emily held Ren's hand the whole way, not out of fear, but curiosity. The young girl had a way of sensing people's hearts before they opened their mouths. The guest room was small, with a twin bed, a dresser, and a nightstand that had belonged to Sam's mother. Ren dropped her duffel in the corner and looked around quietly. It's nice, she said. Cleaner than most barracks I've been in. Sheets are fresh, Sam said. Emily insisted. She's sweet, Ren said. Reminds me of my sister when she was that age. You've got siblings? Had. One. But that's a long story. Sam nodded. We've all got those. Later, they sat in the kitchen with cups of tea, the storm now only a distant rumble. Ren, still damp but more relaxed, stared at the refrigerator, where a collage of Emily's drawings had taken over nearly every inch. You raise her on your own? She asked. Since she was 3. Her mom passed from cancer. I was barely making ends meet, didn't have a clue what I was doing. Still don't, most days. You're doing better than most dads I've met, Ren said. Sam shrugged. I just try to show up. Be honest. Give her love. Sometimes that's enough. Ren grew quiet. Then she said, without looking at him, my father never knew how to love. He just knew how to control. Sam glanced up. There it was, the sliver of truth. He kicked me out when I told him I was enlisting, Ren continued. Said I was throwing away the life he built for me. Said I could come back when I was ready to obey. Sam's brows rose, but he said nothing. The pieces were coming together. Your father, he said carefully. Was he someone important? Ren exhaled. You could say that. Jackson Carter. Sam blinked. Carter Industries? The shipping conglomerate? Ren nodded slowly. Yeah. That's him. I'm his daughter. Or I was. Haven't used the name in years. He let out a low whistle. Well, I wasn't expecting that. No one ever does, she said bitterly. To him, I was a PR liability. A daughter who wouldn't stay polished for the camera. I wanted something real. So I left. Changed my name legally when I turned 21. Haven't looked back. And now? Sam asked. Now, he's dying. His lawyer sent me a letter a few weeks ago. Said the company's collapsing. Said he wants to see me one last time. Are you going? I don't know. I don't think I can. Sam thought for a moment. You know, Ren, sometimes going back isn't about them. It's about you. She looked at him. And for the first time since she'd walked through the diner door, she looked vulnerable. You're the first person I've told in years, she said quietly. About who I am. Then I'm honored, Sam said sincerely. Ren slept restlessly that night, haunted by memories of boardrooms, screaming matches, and childhood birthdays missed by a father who could never quite see past his quarterly reports. She hadn't wanted her old life back. But now, Having walked away from the uniform that had defined her for the last 8 years, she was caught between worlds, no longer a soldier, not willing to be a Carter again. And yet, something about Sam's quiet resilience, about Emily's gentle joy, pulled her in. For the first time in years, she felt human again. The morning came with golden sunlight and a crispness in the air that promised better things. Sam was already in the kitchen flipping pancakes while Emily dragged out her crayons for another round of breakfast booth art. Wren stepped into the kitchen, her fatigue softened by sleep and something like hope. "Smells amazing," she said. "Told you," Sam said with a grin. "Best pancakes on Route 89. They sat together, laughing quietly at Emily's questions and Sam's corny dad jokes. And for a few perfect moments, Wren forgot who she used to be. She was just someone. Someone who mattered. Little did any of them know, this one night was just the beginning. Because within days, Wren's identity would explode across the internet, tabloids would descend on their quiet town, and Sam's humble life would be thrown into the storm of the Carter legacy. But none of that mattered yet. For now, the soldier and the single dad were just two people who had found shelter, not just from the storm, but from the broken pieces of their pasts. And neither of them would ever be the same again.